So last week I shared 7 Easter eggs that take serious patience to see, and you guys seem to enjoy it, so I'm back with 7 more. Just like before, I'll only be including 1 Easter egg per game, and I will try my best to speed things up for you where I can, as a couple of these Easter eggs really do take a long time. Actually, I'll probably just put timestamps in the description. Oh, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated, and if Easter eggs and secrets in games are your sort of thing, perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Dying Light. Now, in the previous Easter eggs that require serious patience video, we found time-consuming Easter eggs in both Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2. But it seems there was one Easter egg that I overlooked. At this location on the map, you can find a sword stuck in a body. Now, you may notice that the sword is called expcalibur, a play on the name of King Arthur's legendary sword, Excalibur, which was stuck inside of a stone. Well, when you try to claim expcalibur for yourself, this will happen. So pulling the sword from the body takes around 3 minutes of holding the interact button. Luckily, the sword is pretty fun to use, as it can knock zombies into next week. Next up is the Eggcellent The Stanley Parable. Now, the Stanley Parable is known for its many endings, most of which are best described as strange. One of these endings is the baby ending. Here, I'll let the narrator explain the rules.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
So it's simple enough, press the red button before the baby reaches the fire. The trouble is, you're expected to do this for 4 hours. Now, the narrator says that this is a very meaningful game, but the message only becomes clear after spending 4 hours playing it. Well, I don't really have time for that, so I use console commands to skip to the end, and this is what happened. So yeah, not really worth it. Oh, and if pressing the same button over and over again for hours wasn't time consuming enough for you, then the Stanley Parable also has an achievement called Go Outside, which requires you to not play the game for 5 years. Up next is a game that I bet you didn't think you'd see in a YouTube video in 2023. Samurai Jack: The Shadow of Aku was released all the way back in 2004, which makes me feel really, really old. Now, the Easter egg in question from Samurai Jack actually isn't that time consuming, taking around 5 minutes or so, but I just find it really cool. If you leave Jack idle on a patch of grass, there is a chance that this will happen. So Jack will make himself a straw hat, which won't be removed until he takes damage. Now, I said there is a chance that Jack will do this. That's because sometimes it can take 5 minutes for the animation to happen, and sometimes it can take upwards of 20 minutes. Still, it's a really cool detail. Next up is the original Resident Evil 2. Now, if you ever played one of the older Resident Evil games, you'll have spent a lot of time interacting with everything in a room, just to make sure you haven't missed anything. For example, in the STARS office, you can search Albert Wesker's desk, which reveals that it's already been searched and left in a bit of a mess. Now, at this point, most players would move on and explore the rest of the office. But if you tried to search the desk 50 times, this will happen. So after searching 50 times, you'll be given the option to take a roll of film. So take it and head to the dark room to develop it. Now, you're probably wondering what is on this film. After all, it took 50 button presses to even get our hands on it. Well, it's a photo of rookie STARS officer Rebecca Chambers in her basketball attire. Quite why Wesker had this photo hidden in his desk in the first place, well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. Right, this next Easter egg is very, very long, and usually if an Easter egg takes this long, I would skip straight to the end. But this is one of those Easter eggs where the journey is definitely better than the destination. In the Saints Row 4 expansion, How the Saints Saved Christmas, the team need to gain access to Santa's workshop. Unfortunately, the workshop is locked and you'll need to take a detour to the stables. Well, you could do that, or you could try and lick the candy canes that have barred the door shut. And if you choose this option, several funny messages will appear.
Refreshing. Oh, it's locked.
So, after all that button mashing, we discover that the door is still locked. So all that licking was a waste of time. Next up is stealth puzzle game Gunpoint. Now, like most stealth games, attacking an enemy head-on is never a good idea in Gunpoint. That means you need to leap from the shadows and catch your unsuspecting victims by surprise. One punch is usually enough to knock out your target, but if you continue to hit them, several funny messages will appear. Right, let's end today's video with Goat Simulator 3. Now, Goat Simulator 3 is a very chaotic game. So chaotic in fact that you may need to relax after playing. Well, what if I told you that you can relax whilst playing? If you head to the yoga studio, you can do this.
Choose a mat so we can begin this journey together. While you're meditating, think of your life, who you are, or what you are. Are you a human? Or are you a goat? What's the difference between a human and a goat? One stands up, the other one walks on 4 legs. Humans have 2 legs, but you can also say that a human has 4 legs. Aren't we all just walking upright goats? Aren't we all just the same? Just trying to get a little grass? Eat some food? There's no big difference. Life is nothing special. Just be a goat. Be a human. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is now, is you, is presence. Peace, zen, energy, health. These are just words that to describe the feeling that you feel now. Self-worth, fitness, relaxation, peacefulness, beauty. It sounds like I'm just reading these words off of a Google search, but I'm not, because nothing matters. This game doesn't matter. And yes, life is a game. It's just a controller or a keyboard and mouse. You're pressing buttons. Things happen or don't happen. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you. And the only thing you need to think about right now is what's the difference between you, a human, and a goat? Is it the horns? Or is it the udders? Or is there no difference? Is it just a different visualization of a human? Or maybe we're all just goats and we're the weird ones. Not weird because we're all perfect and unique and special and beauty and fitness and mindfulness and meditation. But what if we are the 2-legged goats? Think about that. Think about that. Think about what you value and cherish and embrace it. Say thank you. And by now you might be feeling, what is he talking about? And I know it doesn't make sense. But if you think about it hard enough, you will realize that you might be a goat. That all this is just a game. And you've been sitting here for 4 minutes thinking about you might get a little surprise, a little trophy for your wonderful game, a little token that you might be waiting for, spending so much precious time on this unique little thing. I don't know, because nothing matters. It doesn't matter what you will get at the end. You might get nothing, you might get everything. So just think, be, accept yourself, and you will see it. You will be there. You will reach it, whatever it is you desire to reach.
Yep, you can sit through an entire 5-minute yoga session where the instructor talks utter nonsense. If that's not the very definition of time wasting, I don't know what is. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.